have a reading today that is from a book that just caught my eye right away, and I definitely have loved it. It's called On Looking, A Walker's Guide to the Art of Observation by Alexandra Horowitz. It's a wonderful book at just taking many different perspectives, but one in particular, which I'll mention, as one goes on walks, especially our daily activities. By marshaling your attention to these words, you are ignoring an unthinkably large amount of information that continues to bombard all of your senses. To a surprising extent, time spent going to and fro, walking down the street, traveling to work, heading to a store or a school, is unremembered. It was my dog who prompted me to consider that our daily journeys could be better. Bring a well-furred, wide-eyed, sharp-nosed dog into your life, and suddenly you find yourself taking a lot of walks. Heading out for what I imagined would be a quick circumnavigation, I often found myself led elsewhere by my dog. Our blocks have become tours of city parks, zigzagging meanders through canyons, trots along the sides of highways, and when we were lucky, down narrow forest paths. After enough waylaid walks, I began trying to see what my dog was seeing and smelling that was taking us far afield. Minor clashes between my dog's preferences and mine as to where and how a walk should proceed indicated that I was experiencing almost an entirely different block than my dog. I was paying so little attention to most of what was right before us that I had become a sleepwalker on the sidewalk. What I saw and attended to was exactly what I expected to see. What my dog showed me was my attention invited along attention's companion, inattention to everything else.
The choir arrives at 5:30 for Thursday evening rehearsals. If we notice a new piece on the chancel table, we traipse up and shuffle through the stack to pick out our copy. We each have been assigned a binder with a number on it, so we're looking for our piece of music. I'm number 3. At some point during rehearsal, with a twinkle in her eye, Dawn calls out the name of the new piece. Her practice is to run the piece straight through. If it is a song I've never sung before, I do my best to read the music, listen for my bass part in Dawn's piano accompaniment, and when I've totally lost my place, grasp for other clues. What is Hanju, who is standing next to me in the bass section, singing? Can I find where that is in the music? What are the other sections singing? But mainly, I'm clinging on, doing my best to finish the piece at the same time as the rest of the choir, and hopefully Dawn. Frequently after the first run-through, Dawn makes a comment to us about the personality of the piece or what she appreciates about it. Aren't these lyrics lovely? Won't this be a surprise for the congregation? We're singing this for the Soul Matters theme of paying attention. Then she will likely go back to the beginning and have us run through it a second time. Off we go. This time I'm much better. I know what's coming. I'm concentrating better on the words as well as the music, as the notes. I find my way back onto the moving musical train without getting hurt. I spot when we are close to the end of the piece and finish with Dawn and the rest of the choir. Often after the second run-through, I feel like I'm really getting the hang of the piece. Usually at that first rehearsal, that's it. Dawn then calls out the next piece of music, and the new piece settles itself inside my binder, waiting patiently to be pulled out at a later rehearsal. A week or so later, that time comes. Dawn calls out the name of the new piece. More frequently than not, I have no recollection that we ever sang it before. I furtively flip through the pages trying to refresh my memory about its style and tricky bits. Soon enough, she has played the intro measures on the piano, and we are often singing. Dawn runs us through the whole piece at first to reacquaint us with the whole. But then a shift occurs, and the noticing really begins. Each piece is unique, of course, so the details of Dawn's approach adjust. The piece has Hebrew words, so she might start us by having us read through the wording 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty bad at remembering pronunciation, so I'll use my pencil and jot down the phonetics under the words just below. She will then have us notice the phrasing of sections, bringing out the meaning of the text. How do we pronounce the vowels? Is it a O, or an oo, or an ah, like an amen? She'll demonstrate the wrong way, often in an exaggerated manner, which makes us smile, and then correct way, and have us sing it again and again. Breathing. Don't breathe in this phrase. Breathe there where the comma is. Any long-held notes is a chance to show off, so don't sit on it. Shape it. Now sing that again. By now, she is jumping around the piece, working these details, listening, correcting again, until if we're lucky, she will suddenly look stunned, smile after a section of our singing and say, "That was fabulous." By now, my music will have a number of cryptic pencil marks, hopefully reminding me of what Dawn has asked. Over the weeks, we are spiraling deeper into the piece. Like so many things we do, early on we think we've mastered it, but with repeated layering of experiences we notice more and more, and our appreciation of these details and nuances may grow. This is especially true when we have a guide who is pointing things out and giving us timely feedback. I'm often feeling a little unsure about several sections of our piece at the start of the Thursday rehearsal before our Sunday performance. Dawn has grown no nonsense. She may stop us abruptly during a sing-through to point out how we have forgotten to do something. Dynamics, pronunciation, shaping, breathing, or simply wrong notes that we'd already worked multiple times on. And now she is emphasizing how to perform the piece. Look up from your music, smile. Don't sound so sad. And she'll mimic and exaggerate our last run-through when you're singing about spring. She'll also really nail us when we aren't watching her, especially at those moments in the piece when she is adjusting the tempo or we have a tendency not to cut off precisely and together. You'll hear an example of this shortly with the phrase, "trim your lamps," followed by a quarter rest. So I've discovered that this spiraling into and paying closer and closer attention to the details of a choir piece is replaced in other experiences. Maybe you too. Yesterday, for example, several of us from UUFRC, Gordy Burton, Amy Shaw, Beth, and I, attended an event at Calvary International, a Black Pentecostal church in East Palo Alto. It was a fruit tree giveaway in partnership with Canopy, the regional tree planting nonprofit, and California Interfaith Power and Light, a progressive faith environmental advocacy organization of which UUFRC is a member. I've been getting to know Calvary and its pastor, Pastor Tyrone McGee, over the past 9 months, over a succession of meetings, discussing how he can make his church facility a resilient hub, a facility with electrical appliances and solar with backup, and more trees, so it can serve its members and neighbors when the power is out, when the air quality is terrible. Each time I meet with him is another layer of noticing. We reminisce about our last meeting, our growing friendship, the time he met Beth at the recent East Palo Alto Black History event. We're building on our friendship foundation. And we notice new things. Yesterday was the first time, for example, I met the deacons of his church and the bustle of women in the kitchen who were cooking the beans and plating the barbecue lunches while Pastor McGee was smoking the chicken and ribs on the impressive smoker in the parking lot as neighbors picked up trees and put them in their vehicles to take home and plant. After yesterday, we have this additional spiral turn to build on as we move to scoping out the replacement of Cavalry's ancient gas furnace with a heat pump HVAC system. Sunday is showtime for the choir. Our rehearsal begins at 9:30. Dawn runs us through vocal warm-ups. We assemble on the chancel and sing through the piece 3 or 4 times. She is giving pointers, all of which we've heard before, to focus and fine-tune us for the service itself. We also practice what is sometimes the hardest part of Sunday mornings, getting from our seats up onto the chancel and back to our seats safely after singing.